I think this whole thing of like a rich man will save you. Obviously, it'd be lovely if you met someone that had loads of money. Like, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
But no one's coming to save you. Be your own rich man.
So I'd like to welcome back Laura in today's episode to talk about money again. Thank you so much for coming. And in this one, we're going to actually just talk about money. You teach that money is as much about the mindset as it is about the maths. How can we start building a healthier money mindset?
So yeah, the math side, is important, but the mindset I think comes from first off on a level of awareness.
Yeah.
So understanding like, what is my current relationship with money? Was it like growing up with money? What impacted my parents, my guardians have? And then how do I now talk about money? So the awareness bit is really important, and just bringing really like non-judgmental a view to your relationship with it, and starting to understand like, what is my relationship right now? That bit of awareness I always think is the best place to start.
And I think without doing it without blame, because the people who may have given you some of your habits didn't know that they were doing that.
Exactly. And I think like when it gets passed down in a way that you're like, you didn't really have a choice.
Subconscious.
Like, yeah.
And for them as well.
Yeah. And you're like, your mindset is, your money mindset is apparently set between the ages of 0 to 7.
Interesting.
So you don't really have that much of a choice what's going on around you at 0 to 7.
Everything's set then.
Yeah. And like and you can't remove yourself from an environment, right? You're not 6 going, I don't think this is very good for my mindset. And like, you leave home.
Yeah. I don't think you can count money at that point.
Exactly. You don't know what money is. So by the time you're, 7, you kind of have these beliefs around money and how it works in the world. But no, the second bit is like, once you've brought awareness to it, is like believing that you can change and knowing that your brain has neuroplasticity. You can change any approach that you have, any beliefs that you have. You can change anything about yourself, about your personality, your skills, your talents, and really having a growth mindset around it is really important. So that's kind of like the next bit.
Yeah.
And then really changing your language. I think changing your language around money is like something very, very powerful, because I'm a big believer that, the kind of words that you use in your thoughts and to other people is what creates your reality.
Yeah, and some people say talk to money as well, don't they?
Yeah, like teach it to treat it like a partner, like
relationship
with it. Yeah. So changing your language, and again, like I know we mentioned this before, but not toxic positivity, right? If you're in a awful situation, maybe you've got debt, maybe you're really struggling to like make ends meet. You have to accept it, but also really being able to say, you don't want to look in the mirror every day and go, I'm rich, oh, I'm a millionaire, because your body's going to be like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
More being able to say...
That would make you ill.
It'd make you feel worse. More being able to say, I am learning how to be better with money. I am open to change with money. Money is neutral. Money is my friend. Like, you don't have to make
it's my friend and not my enemy. I think, and that's how money happens, isn't it? Because you can end up having quite a negative relationship with money.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're in debt, or there's a constant struggle, or you're like, oh my God, I haven't got enough money for the rest of this week and I get paid on Friday.
Exactly.
And actually, it's not a struggle.
Exactly. And like being able to utilize your words to, they say like words are spells, like you're casting spells when you speak.
So okay.
Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
No.
So it's kind of like this idea that, if we think about the way that our thoughts and our feelings work, you use words, you have thoughts, you say words, that creates an emotion within your body.
Yes.
That emotion is usually where your behavior stems from, especially on a subconscious level. And then obviously your behavior over and over again is your reality.
Yeah, so if you're then going to step into that joy or the fear, and then it's like, because joy is like abundance, isn't it? And then fear is
it's more limiting.
It's limiting.
Yeah. And I think like if you've always been the same with money, whatever that looks like for you, but you feel like it's not progressing you.
My life is changing around money. If you're going to be, and my talk around money is changing.
That's good.
But it's taken a long time. And there was a lot of introspection that had to be done around it. A lot of working with the history of money within my family and how it worked.
Yeah.
And then what brings me to where I am as well.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of layers, which we discussed before, and how I approached that. And it was quite deep, and it was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this to come out, because I just thought money was just here with me, and maybe a couple of patterns that I'd picked up when I was little, but actually it is historic within us.
Yeah.
It's a whole build up.
Totally. And I think, we all have our own money story.
Yeah.
Which is, what we believe to be true about money up until today. And I think that when you uncover what your own money story is, and the beliefs, your individual beliefs, societal beliefs, all of those cultural beliefs, what you've taken on, as soon as you can start to say, okay, that doesn't have to be my reality with money. I can choose to think, behave, act differently with money. It just creates a whole new...
It's a whole new playing field.
Yeah, totally.
It becomes... Yeah, it can become magic.
Yeah.
Within that. And I think that there's a lot of fear that's always associated with it, because you always hear about the hikes of everything as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a challenge. You mentioned spending date to me previously when we spoke in the lead up to these podcasts. What is it and why does it matter?
So I always talk about you having a relationship with money, which is like a partner. So we know what a toxic relationship is, right? You're not around them, you don't spend quality time with them, you don't know what they're doing. But a healthy relationship is you're connected, you're spending time together, you want to be in each other's company.
Yeah.
So having a money date is literally sitting down with your money. I usually say once a month, where you look over, well, what did I spend last month? Did I stick to my budget? Creating a new budget or a spending plan for the month ahead, looking at your savings progress, looking at your investing progress, and just building an overview of what's gone on in your world with money.
Yeah.
And doing that regularly, weekly or monthly, is, I think, important, because not only does it improve your relationship to money, but it also allows you to know what's going on with your money. That's the practical part.
I suppose if people start on a weekly basis and then they have an overhaul every month,
Totally.
and then they can, once they get into a routine of understanding what's happening, they can then drop it down.
Yeah. And I think it also depends when you get paid.
Yeah.
Because if you get paid monthly, like the way that I would usually say is, if you get paid monthly, you're obviously only going to want to create a monthly budget because you've got your monthly money. But if you want to check in with your money weekly, because obviously a month is a really long time, you want to make sure you're sticking to that spending plan. And you're going to find your own flow depending on what type of person you are, how often you get paid, the way that you budget. So you've got to find it for yourself, but regular money.
And you've got to find the right budget sheet, because some of these budget sheets are not so great and they don't necessarily work for you. And I've never managed to do one.
Budget? Really?
I think it's a block that I've got. And I start trying to do it, so I know how much money's going out, and I've planned that out a little bit, and then you have to work it out for the tax man as well as what's coming in. But then then it just goes.
Is it when you've got the numbers down that you're then being like, this feels too overwhelming, I don't know what I'm doing? Is it like a lack of trust in your own ability? Is it like a lack of, I don't feel like I have enough? Is it like
I think it's a little bit of, I don't have enough.
Yeah.
Then it's a little bit of a lack of ability. Then it's like, well, actually, I'm supposed to be kind of budgeting a little bit towards clothes, and I'm trying not to buy any clothes, and I don't know, it's just trying to find the right balance in all the other bits.
Yeah.
And I used to say, after all my bills are paid and my rent's paid or what have you, I'll have like £100 to spend that week. And that would be for food, going out, and any kind of clothes or anything. Now I wouldn't even know where to start, because everything's quite expensive.
Yeah, everything is more expensive. I think it can be quite hard to be able to say, like, if I've got to cut back here, I've got to make a sacrifice here, it can be hard to look at the numbers, because then that's you owning up to it. But your other option isn't as fun, which is having to go into debt, being in an uncomfortable position where your card's getting rejected. Like,
oh God. I've definitely had that happen in the past, for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I think more people have had that than we probably realise.
Yeah.
And it's hard to look at a budget and go, I can't afford to buy clothes this month, or I can't afford to. But that's the adult part, right? Being able to go, okay, I've got to be honest with myself.
Oh my
here.
God. After being an adult for so long, I'm going to step into the adult world. Oh my days. I'm really going to have to do this. You're you're kind of like stirring something up in me that's going, okay then.
Well, I also think budgeting gets a bad name because people are like, well, that means I have to be restriction. Yeah, feels we've got to be restrictive or frugal or tight, but actually, it just gives you data. It just gives you information, and even if you're looking at your situation and going, fuck's sake, that is not what I want. At least you can go, well, I know what I'm working with.
Yeah.
What is it that I then need to do? Is it that I need to cut back? Is it that I need to make more money? Is it that, sell something? Like, what is it that I've got to do in the short term to make this easier for myself right now?
Yeah, because it's kind of funny because obviously now, like, say I'm doing this podcast and like rather than me editing the videos, which I have been doing, I've decided to go out and get them edited because it saves me a lot of time. For someone that can do it a lot quicker, they know how to do it, they can get the color levels right because I can't, and I'm just not like that in tune with it. Can do the editing quite well, but there's people that do it professionally and they can do it, they'll save me hours, and it takes not the stress or the anxiety, it just takes out of it for me, and gives it to somebody that enjoys it. And then you're also spreading your wealth. But then I have to think about, well, how am I going to pay for this? Because this isn't bringing me any money in.
Yeah. But
how is this going to then work out from my own finances, from my work as well? So then it's like,
yeah, and I think that's the thing. That's where priorities comes in.
Yeah.
If you prioritize time more, and you're by spending money on a video editor, you're gaining back, 10 hours a week.
It's more than that.
Fair.
It'll be more. It takes for a conversation like this with you and me for 40 minutes, it would take me 5 hours.
So 15 hours by sending it to someone else, because obviously we've done 3 episodes.
And the rest, and the fretting of that I've got to do it.
So within that time, you've not only gained back time, but you potentially could spend 5 of those hours making more money, or 5 of those hours selling something to make money for, or 5 hours working on your wellness. There is so much that you can gain from that time.
Yeah.
But obviously the discernment of like, can I actually afford this, and is it worth it? Only you can decide that, and that's why having a budget is so important.
Yeah, it's also about finding the right relationship with the editor as well.
Totally.
Finding the right editor. So yeah, it's a bit of a kind of a learning curve for me this little bit, but it's fine. I'm just doing it as an investment in myself and knowledge sharing as well.
Totally.
And just making it accessible. So often we experience rifts, whether that's between family, friends, within ourselves, and also in relationships over money. From your perspective, what causes these disconnects, and how can we start to heal from them so that money becomes more of a source of connection rather than conflict?
I think that a lot of the conflict comes from everybody having their own attitudes towards money and thinking that you should be thinking like me, or you should be doing this, this, and this. And it's always pointing the finger. And I think that when you get to situations like that, there's a lot of, because money's so emotional.
It is. So you work hard for it.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of jealousy or envy or that can happen, especially if one person earns a lot and one person doesn't.
Well, we were talking about weddings, weren't we? And I've just been to a wedding, and then, and how in the media it's saying that, for a woman to go to a wedding now, it's almost like £2,000 sometimes because of where we have to go stay in a hotel, the outfits, the hair, the nails, all the like kind of Hindus. I was going to call them bridal showers, but no, it's too American. The Hindus, and it all adds up. And it's like, well, where do you find that kind of money? And something that you want to celebrate, because you need to celebrate these moments.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's so many boring, dull, and mundane and hard moments that we need to do the highs as well. But that would then potentially cause rifts within. Like, can you actually really go to all the events that are being suggested, whether it's for that wedding or what have you, within the social circle?
Yeah, and I think it's hard to say no to stuff, right? Like, if your friend has got engaged and they're choosing to get married and you're invited, maybe you're a bridesmaid, maybe you're not, there's costs involved. But to say no to something like that does feel taboo. Imagine being asked by your best friend, hey, I would love for you to be my bridesmaid, and you say, no, I can't afford it. Like, it feels taboo. It feels, it feels awkward. It feels uncomfortable. But at the same time, that's where friendship and talking about money is so important. And being able to say, not necessarily no, but like, yes, but, or yes, but I just have to be careful with my money. Or like the more you can talk about money to your friends, the easier it becomes for you to manage your own money. Because let's say there's a group of you that want to go on holiday and you can openly say, hey guys, would love to come, but my budget's £500.
Yeah.
Ideally, if you have nice friends, everyone will be like, no problem, we want you to be there, let's all fit it within that. But if you stay quiet and you have a lot of shame around what you can afford and you're like, oh, I don't want people to know that I'm struggling, and you end up going on a holiday that costs you £2,000.
Oh gosh,
you're going to be stressed.
Awful.
Yeah, you're going to be stressed.
You won't enjoy it. Then
you might resent them.
Oh yeah, that's really hard, because like I think like I had a wedding once and it was a destination wedding, and then the hen do was going to be a destination, and I was just like, I'm really sorry, I can't do both.
Yeah.
So I'd rather come to the wedding, and I'm really, really sorry.
Yeah.
It's a bit much. One, I won't know anyone at the hen do. If it was local, I'd come.
Yeah.
But it's not local.
Yeah.
And I think, you have to be realistic. And that is a little bit about being the budgeting, isn't it? The adult.
Yeah, because without a budget, you don't know if you can afford something.
I really need to get down this down this budgeting thing. It's like Excel just makes me go, oh.
Yeah, and there's loads of different ways you can do it. Like I have a spreadsheet that you can download, which is Excel, but it does everything for you.
Yeah.
So you just plug in what the incoming and the outgoings are, and everything else gets calculated for you. So
I've got a few of those, you know.
You?
But do you like that? I've got a few of those, but I don't really know how they work. Maybe you need to ping me over a link. Maybe we share that link online as well for everybody to be able to use, like within the comments or something. Many of us feel pressure around aging, beauty, and the money. Investing in how we look versus saving for the future. How do you balance that approach or approach that balance?
For me personally, it's tough. I am on camera all of the time.
Yeah.
I see my face all of the time. And I also get pulled into traps sometimes of like, maybe I can spend my money on this. Maybe I can spend my money on this.
It's a constant conversation though, isn't it? Because of all the adverts we get.
Exactly. And you're always like, it's always that potential of, well, what will that get me? What will that bring me?
Yeah.
But the more connected I am to my financial goals, what am I actually working to in regards to like saving and investing? Like, what are those goals? Is it that why do I want X amount in my savings or my investments? What does that look like? You can start to create your own sequence or your own like flow chart of how you decide between spending and saving. And like I mentioned before, sometimes you're in a saving era, sometimes you're in a spending era. It's going to look different, but the more intentional and mindful you can get with it, and the more it's a choice, the better. And knowing, I don't believe in extremes. So like, I think extremes are a bad place. If you save and invest everything, okay, you might have all the money in the world, but you might be miserable. You might not have any memories with your friends. You might not have any experiences.
You've got to bring in the joy, haven't you? You've got to have the experience.
Yeah, but if you spend everything and you're living paycheck to paycheck, that's stressful. You don't have anything for the future.
I've done that.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people have. So it's oscillating kind of somewhere in the middle. Knowing what your goals are, what your values are, is going to help you have your own formula for like, can I spend on this?
Yeah.
Whether that's beauty or whether that's, whatever that looks like for you.
What's your approach for creating a practical understanding of money without feeling overwhelmed or restricted?
So I think a practical approach is going to be, having a budget or a spending plan, having a savings plan, opening up all your different accounts so that you know where your money's going and naming all of the pots and setting up your direct debits, but doing it one step at a time. So for you, for example, you said, I don't even have a budget yet. That's where you start.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody that has a budget, you're already saving a little bit, it might be time for you to then move on to investing. Yeah. So, reading personal...
Oh, I invest.
I love this. Okay. So you invest, but you don't...
So I've just started...
Okay.
A little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I put a little bit into pension, a little bit more, but not loads, because I'm still paying back my family for the support that they gave me while I wasn't working. But I am investing a little bit, but it doesn't mean I don't go into my overdraft.
And the problem with that, right, is if you end up, like, let's use that as an example, if you end up going into your overdraft, but you've got money in investments, the interest that you're getting charged over here might balance out the interest that you're making
Over
in your
there,
investments, right? So by having a budget, you can decide, I could put a bit more away to invest, or maybe I actually can't afford to invest that much. Like
this month,
this month, and it will change. So like, there are steps that you can do practically to help yourself understand. Like, I think a budget is the place to start because it allows you to understand, what can I afford? What should my goals be? What direction should I head in? And with investing, the last thing you want to do is have to dip into those investments and take it out because of compound interest.
Yeah.
If you have to, obviously that's fine. Like, it is what it is. I've had to do that before.
Yeah.
But the more knowledge, the more overview you have of what's going on with your money allows you to give it more direction.
And what age can somebody, like a young woman or even a young lad, start investing?
I don't think there's, 18. You have to be at least 18.
Okay.
To get
I know
started.
Parents do it for kids before that.
Yes, parents can do it before kids, but as an adult,
Yeah.
you can get started at 18.
Yeah.
And you can invest up until any age. Like,
Yes.
You could be in your 80s investing if you wanted to, but there's no age too young to start investing, I don't think. As long as you've got, what you don't want to do, I don't think, is investing to be the first thing you do. That, you need to build up an emergency fund in cash. You need to understand, like, are my high interest debts paid off? And then investing can kind of come into it.
Yeah.
So I definitely think there are a set of steps that kind of ramp you up to that are important.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's like, look at where you're paying the interest and let's stop that bleeding, because it bleeds you dry.
Yeah, it's like a leaky bucket.
It is, except your mortgage interest. Can't go away from that.
Yeah, although, do you know there's an app called Sprive, Sprive, and it's a cashback app if you have a mortgage. So the way that works is you would spend at Tesco, you get £5 cashback, and that cashback automatically gets paid off of the interest on your mortgage, and it saves you loads.
No way.
Yeah, so I highly recommend.
I'm gonna have to Google that. Sprive.
Yeah.
I'll check that out later. What's your advice for creating a practical understanding of money without feeling overwhelmed and restricted? Because I've definitely felt restricted by money and overwhelmed.
Yeah.
There was a point where I actually said to my mum, like many, many years ago, I was just like, will you just please clear my credit card debt? I didn't ask her to clear like my student loans or anything, but I did. I was like, I don't think I can do these exams with this hanging over me, because I couldn't get another credit card to get rid of the interest was just crippling.
Yeah, and I think if it depends where you're at. If you're somebody who's in debt, the best thing you can do is make a debt management plan and understand where is my money going, who do I owe, how much. But it's hard for people because, facing up to it is really hard because there's so much shame involved. But if you can face up,
it's shame, it's vulnerability. And then actually you realise that it is blocking you from doing other things.
Well, it feels like it blocks your abundance.
Yeah, but it stops you from just being... Oh God, I'm so good at that.
I think a lot of people are.
I think, yeah, I'm now I go head first into every problem.
Yeah, love that.
Which is a bit of a bull in the china shop sometimes. And actually something had come up around money, and then something had happened in my work, and this was recent. And so then I just went to my friends and I was like, right, let's do this. They were like, do you want to wait? I was like, no, I just want this sorted because I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of these cycles that keep happening. I want to move forward. I want to create a positive traction.
Yeah, and I think
there will be a breaking point within all this.
And I think that's the same for everyone. Everyone has their point where they're like, okay, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can do it before you get to breaking point, right? That'd be quite nice.
That's a really good way to do it.
Yeah.
And I think also, I don't know, you may agree or disagree. I don't know. There's always been a little part of me that's like, oh yeah, when I get into a relationship, we'll sort this out together. Not because they'll take on any financial burden from me, because I don't really have any, but creating growth together. And then you think, well, actually, I've been waiting for this together for a very long time and I've never found it. or
Yeah.
anyone that I want to do that growth with. So
Yeah.
that's quite, I don't know. I wonder if as women, we kind of like see ourselves like, oh, in a partnership, we'll do it.
Yeah, I think this whole thing of like a rich man will save you
I
is
don't know if I've met any of those, but yeah.
yeah.
But they do have the nights, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think like being able to acknowledge like no one's coming to save you. Obviously, it'd be lovely if you met someone that had loads of money, and like who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
But no one is coming to save you. You know that whole share thing, but like, honey, I am a rich man.
Yeah.
Be your own rich man. Like make your own riches. Like, and then when someone comes into the fold, obviously you can create together. But the type of person that's I'm saying man, or it might be a woman, the type of partner that you want that is financially well off, stable, they probably would like to also be with a partner who meets that same thing.
Exactly.
So be that version of yourself first, and then you're more likely to meet someone, as opposed to waiting to meet someone like that who's going to save you.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of the whole fairy tale thing that comes into what we've been taught as women. I'm not trying to stereotype, but I think there's a lot of it around, which is a little bit of where the women get told to save and the men get told to invest. That kind of, I think it's all the mindset and the stories we're told.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
And all the stuff in the media and...
Yeah. It's like, oh, somebody else will just help. Like for me, the idea of creating a budget is just like, you can see it, can't you? You can just, and then it's like, oh, well, you know what? When I meet someone, we'll create a budget together. But actually, for me to meet someone and have them live with me or me live with them or whatever that looks like and get to that point, you're talking like quite a few years down the line.
Yeah, and I think you don't want to wait for that. Like,
no, you got to do it now.
It's a block that explore. I think it's good to explore. There's obviously like around your own relationship with money, there's obviously something that's stopping you from wanting to sit and look at the numbers.
But I am changing it. This is what I'm trying to say. I am changing it. But it's I'm saying that's probably where my mindset has been in the past, and now I'm just like saying sod it. Just let's go on and let's be my own boss. And actually I wouldn't appreciate somebody telling me what to do. I really wouldn't.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Poor them if they'd hellfire. Do you think the way we talk about money has changed for younger generations, especially with social media showcasing luxury lifestyles?
Totally. I think money is more accessible now than ever because of social media. Like you could create a social media account and be making money like that.
Yeah.
Not saying it's easy, but you can. And when you are exposed to thousands of people every single day on your social media feed they've got all these nice things, they're doing all these nice things, we still don't know if those people have financial stability, right? Because they
probably don't, from what I've read.
And
and they're not necessarily happy, like the hi.
Yeah, and it's a highlight reel, isn't it? So it's like you're just seeing what they've spent, you're not seeing how much they've saved.
Yeah.
So it's created this kind of attitude towards the more I get, the more I can have, the more I can do, the more.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like, let's look at the bigger picture of stability and what that can bring and how to build money sustainably and enjoyably.
Yes, I completely agree with that. I think social media, like how much joy would I get from people knowing and experiencing my lifestyle if I was out and about trying to find the next trend constantly. That's not where my joy comes from, the work that I do on a day-to-day basis, which I'm quite surprised to say that, but it does actually, because that helps people, genuinely helps people, and it's also about the connection.
Yeah, that's nice though to have that's for you.
But it's I suppose it's a scary world because of the whole concept of AI that's coming in, and like, oh, we don't know what the jobs are going to be in the future and how everything's like morphing and changing. And so that's another fear, isn't it, that we're constantly exposed to? Yeah,
I think that the thing is though with AI is like there's also it's more about, it's just a tool.
Yeah. Just
like money, it's a tool. So whoever AI is in the hands of could be really positive, could be really negative, and it's what you choose to look at. You can choose to look at the really negative side and be like, they're going to take our jobs, it's going to be a nightmare. Or you can be like, wow, it's helping me do things quicker, it's helping this. How can I utilize it? How can I still show up and be authentic? And, you know, it's what side of the coin are you choosing to lean into?
Yeah, are you allowing it to do your work for you, or are you asking it for like, where are the gaps that I need to go away and plug?
Exactly. So it's how you utilize it, just the same as money.
If someone wants to spend intentionally, but still enjoy life, what's your best tip?
So I would say that really understanding your emotional triggers for spending, like, are you more likely to spend when you're bored, when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're lonely, when you're happy, when you're like, what is it that triggers you into impulse spending or overspending?
Yeah.
The more you understand that, and the more you understand yourself, and you can create healthy coping mechanisms to feel your emotion without feeling the need to spend money, you can then start to spend more intentionally, because you know that when you are spending, you're aware, you're in your body, you're being mindful, and it's not happening to you, but it's a choice.
Yeah.
So a lot of people get frustrated with spending because it's all very unconscious. It's just happening. Tap, 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 tap. And because we're not in our minds, we're not in our bodies, busy day, stress, we're just like, oh, I'm tired, just want to get a delivery, we just want to make ourselves feel better, we want to get a dopamine hit. The more you can understand that and understand your own emotions and what is causing you to spend unintentionally, you can then just flip the script and then start to be like, okay, so this leans into kind of like the financial values, the budgeting and understanding, okay, well, I know that I always spend when I get stressed. So if I've had a really stressful day at work, let's start to learn what are the signs of stress in my body and in my mind. Yeah. Maybe that's really negative thoughts. Maybe that's, you start picking your nails. Maybe you start grinding your teeth. I don't know, whatever your own signs are. Right now is not a time. I'm not going to have willpower to not spend money. I know that my pattern is I spend money and then I get annoyed at it. So how can I put myself in a position to not walk past the shops that I usually spend in, take, my credit card details off my phone, or unsubscribe from certain emails that always get me, just the little kind of things that maybe trip me up, so that when I do come to spending money, it's intentional.
Yeah.
And like, I always talk about stopping and waiting. So if you filled up a cart with loads of things online, stop.
Yeah.
Wait a couple of days, decide if you still want to spend that money there.
You normally find that you don't.
Exactly.
So when I'm in a shop and I'm not quite sure about something and someone's trying to push something on you, and they do when you're on holiday a little bit more, have you noticed?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be able to take it back.
Exactly.
And so you kind of go, no, I've definitely for many years, I've just gone, well, if I think about it again and I want it, then I'll come back and get it.
Yeah. And I think like that's a good way, knowing that you're like, okay, maybe I won't think about it. But if you're really impulsive, some people find themselves, they would obsess over it because they've restricted themselves. So then they convince themselves, that person's like, I've had a client who, massive shopper, massive impulse shopper, and I said, do the stop and wait thing.
Yeah.
So she would stop, she would wait, but during that wait period, all she could think about was spending that money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it was obsessive.
Obsessive, yeah.
And the more that she restricted herself, the more she wanted it.
It's addiction, isn't it?
It's an addiction.
Yeah.
So how can you get out of your head and into your body? Yeah. What are the things that make you feel present? Is it doing yoga? Is it dancing? Is it... I don't know. Everyone's different. So finding...
Those are the ones that I always say to people to go. Breathing,
like moving
meditation.
your body.
Yeah, moving the energy. Because like that whole... I'm just thinking about... It was funny because I was going through Victoria Station and I'd seen a top there that I liked. And I just started thinking about it. Now, yesterday I walked past Victoria Station and I was like, oh, do I want that top? And now I'm thinking, I have to go and see it because I can't remember what it looked like. But it might be a nice thing for when I start my new job. And that's okay. I like to buy myself a couple of pieces before I start a new job because it's like, but it depends if it's the right tone. But yeah, I think you can start, you can get obsessive about stuff, but it's like any addiction. Yeah.
And learning that and learning your habits around that and how to break through that, I believe comes down to not feeling like you have to act on every thought.
Yes.
That's essentially.
Well, if you tried to do that, God knows where we'd be. We'd be just like all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's where the intentionality comes in from.
Yeah. Did you help them? Did they succeed?
Yeah, no, they did. We worked together for a little while and, we worked a lot on like not reacting to every thought, different things that she could do to get back into her body. She found so much joy she loved knitting.
Oh, yes. So I've got a knitting project over in that corner.
Love that. So she found a hobby that felt good for her that wasn't shopping.
Yes.
So...
And actually it stops you from scrolling as well while you're watching something.
So yeah, and everyone's different. I'm not saying knitting is the answer for everyone, but that was her thing.
Her release. That's so lovely. Well, I think that's quite an interesting place to leave this episode because we're going to go on to soul in the next episode. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you for having me.